to raise up. It's been dark way too long in this place. That bright smile long gone been replaced. From ear to ear I see that fear in your face. Tell me when the last time you felt safe, cause there's some evil people in the streets. Evil at your front door, creeping while you sleep. It's time to raise up, show that evil we ain't weak. We don't turn the other cheek, I can show you how to be strong. Come on, follow me. Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy, I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. We go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Insights of a Survivor. We're going to start again. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge that today's episode may cover sensitive topics, including domestic violence, survivorship, and the healing journey. Some content may be sensitive or triggering for listeners who have experienced trauma. So please take care of yourself while listening. Anytime you need to pause, anytime you need to reach out for support, anytime you need to do anything that's going to help prioritize your well-being, just do it. Because healing isn't about moving on, it's about reclaiming what's been taken. Rebuilding what's been broken and refusing to let our past dictate our future. But at the end of the day, again, we still need to heal. Oh, that was my intro. You guys, I'm still sleepy. Just being honest, it's been a long week for me and my guests. We're both kind of tired. We're on fumes, but we're here. And that was what I was supposed to introduce as saying. With that being said, healing isn't just about moving on. It's about reclaiming what was taken, rebuilding what was broken, and refusing to let our past dictate our future. Welcome back to Insights of a Survivor. We are here, where we don't just talk about survival. We are here to talk about resilience. We're here to stand on our truth. We're here to talk about the work it takes to rise after being knocked down. And I am your host, PJ. And if you are here, I already know one thing about you. You've been through something. And it's not just the small stuff, and I'm not saying anything is small. It's, everything is big when you're going through it. These are the kind of things that leaves a mark, that changes you, that makes you question if you ever will ever feel whole again. And I get it. I've been there too. I know what it's like to have your voice taken. I say that a lot because I'm really big on sharing your story, coming out of the silence. And I know what it feels like to carry a trauma that is so heavy. It just feels like it's going to just tear you down. It's going to weigh you down. And I know what it's like to wonder if it's even possible to heal. I mean, you some things it's just like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get over that, But what I have learned is healing is not just possible, but it is necessary. It's not easy. It's not a direct path, but it is worth it. For a long time, I thought survival was enough. That if I made it through just one day, if I just kept pushing, that meant that I was healing. But the truth is, survival and healing, they're two different things. Survival is about getting through, but healing is about taking your life back. And just let me tell you, like, when you take your back life after trauma, do you know what that feeling is? It's a feeling of completion, and I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it because this is a battle. This is a battle, and it means facing things that you've buried. You have to pull up a lot of past traumas. You have to unearth everything that has burdened you, and it means to unlearn all of those things that are inside of you that you taught to think about yourself, to feel about yourself. It's about turning all of that into a positive. It means choosing yourself every single day, even when it feels like no one else understands you and why you do the things that you do. You need to choose yourself. A lot of us, we were raised in environments where we weren't giving space to talk about our pain. We were told that we needed to just kind of toughen up, Just stay quiet, keep our family business in our house, just deal with it. It's not going to last forever. Mental health was not even remotely a conversation to talk about. Therapy, no. And if you are going to therapy, most likely they're having you see someone who's just trying to give you medication and cover the problem instead of actually finding the source of the problem and treating it. We were met with shame. We were silenced, or even worse, we were punished for even trying to have our voice. But you know what? That stops here. This space, this space is different. This space is about truth. Healing is not pretty. It's not a lot of Instagram posts, bubbly baths, which that is a nice part of self care, but it's not the only part of healing. It's ugly. It's ugly. It's getting up at 2 in the morning, being triggered by something, crying at 2 a.m. It's confronting the parts of your story that you don't want to say out loud. It's about walking away from people who don't respect your boundaries, even when those people are some of the ones that you don't think that you would ever live your life without. And that's kind of the hurt that you don't understand. It's about relearning how to love yourself when the world tells you or has told you that you are not enough. And let's just be real. Some days it's about making it to the next moment. It's about getting through that hard time, and that's okay. That's okay. Healing doesn't happen overnight, but every step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you are stronger than anything, anyone, any situation that has tried to break you. That's why I do this. That's why I share my story, because I know what it feels like to be in the dark, to feel alone, and to wonder if anybody else really understands what I'm going through. And I also know what it feels like to come out on the other side, to take my voice back, to step into my power and say, I am more than what has happened to me. That brings me to today's episode, because I know I'm not the only one who's walked down this road. There are so many of us out here that are fighting to heal, fighting for change, fighting to break generational cycles. That's why I am excited, because today I'm sitting down with someone who understands this journey firsthand, someone who's taken their own path and turned it into purpose, someone who is out here making real change, helping others, and showing up for the people who need it the most. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman, my sister, Miss Luciana Adams, which I call her Miss Lucy. Let me back. Let's get her on. Hi, Lucy. Hi, how are you? I can't hear you. I do have you muted. That's me, you guys. That wasn't her. That was me. Hi, sis. I'm still
Hey
learning.
sis, hello, hello to you and everyone.
Hi. How are you? I know you've had a really busy week.
I have, I
It's okay.
have. It has been busy, but it has been a good busy.
Yes.
But so I won't complain. It's been a good busy. You're trying to make things work. You're trying to get things done. You got new beginnings that we'll be talking about on here tonight. But I'm just
Yes, because you're
excited.
busy
I'm
like
excited.
helping. I'm excited
Ye-
for you. You guys, I know a little bit about what's going on. Her busy is always about helping someone and, doing something for this community, uplifting. And of course, single mom. On top
Yes.
of that, mompreneur. She's just goals. She says we're goals, but she's goals, you guys. She does not understand how much we look up to her.
No, I look up to y'all. Listen, I'm trying to catch up.
You already there. We that's all right though, because wherever you're lacking, I've got you. Wherever I'm lacking, I know I can just hold on to you, and we got each other.
See,
We
we
got
got
each
each
other.
other back. We got our back. See, we
Yes,
balance out.
ma'am.
We all balance out each other.
Sensational six, you
Sensational
guys.
six, doing great things, doing great things. And this only
Oh,
just the beginning.
just the beginning. Oh my goodness, you just don't know. So, Miss Lucy, you have experienced trauma firsthand. When you look back, was there a moment when you realized that you were just surviving instead of truly living? And if that is the case, what pushed you to step into healing?
That's a very good question because when my trauma started, I was just so young that I didn't know surviving versus thriving. I did not have a clue. I did not realize it until I became an adult to realize actually what I was facing. But what I do know is that with that, I was living a life that was created for me as a result of everything that I experienced through the trauma, and versus actually being and understanding who I was created to be by God. And so to piggyback, yeah, I didn't even realize that. So to answer your question, I was just striving. I didn't know what it was to thrive. I didn't know what it was to live. I was I thought I did, but I was trying to just survive, to try to get from one day to the next and trying to figure out, why did I have to experience this? Why did I have to go through the physical sexual abuse? Or why did I have to actually witness the domestic abuse? So it was like a lot of whys, a lot of understanding. But when I was younger, I went along. It became routine because it was like daily. And so it's like trying to figure out later on in life, as jumping ahead, trying to figure out the whys and understanding who I was as Luciana, who I was, who I really was, and why. Is this was the life that was made for me? Why? Why me? It was a lot of whys. As a young child, you asked, like, why? Why did I have to experience that? And why did I have to go through this? So it was really it was tough. So I was, yeah, to answer your question, I was just striving, and what I know as now as striving.
And what pushed you into stepping into healing? When did you start saying, you know what, surviving isn't enough? I need to start to thrive. Like what was that one incident that pushed you towards healing?
Honestly, this is I was hanging out with some friends actually, and we was in a neighborhood in the community where I live at, just hanging out, wasn't doing nothing, just talking, and a little incident happened. A car pulled up on me and a few of my friends, and it was a couple guys in the car, and they asked us, they was looking for, some stuff that probably won't mention on here. And so one of my other friends, he kind of like a hothead, but he didn't get too. And we could tell the guys wasn't from the community, because when you're from the neighborhood, you know who lives in your community. And so they're like, what's going on? We know what you need, and they're like, well, go over there. We don't, that's not what we doing over here, pretty much. So they drove off, but and then they turned around. All of us was like, this don't look right. We better kind of go our way, our separate ways. And so all of us just started running in different direction, and thank God that we did, and we listened to our first mind, because when they came back and they came back to where we were, they started shooting. And so they started shooting in the field where my friends went. I didn't go with the crowd where my friends went. I went in another direction. I was by myself, but I hid behind a car, and they went over into another area. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, all right, this is enough. Enough is enough. And although we wasn't doing anything and we wasn't wrong, but it was just like a lot of things up to date that I had been experiencing, whether it was abuse, whether it was just a neighborhood community gangs and stuff like that, that I was just part of, just growing up pains, trying to figure out who I was, whether it was the just kind of feeling I had to really figure out stuff for myself in my life. So I'm just figuring different things out. And so at that point, I was driving on the freeway. I was like, Lord, I need to get my life together, because I was like, I don't know what's going on, what's direction and what's going on. So I was like, all right, let me get myself together. And I was like, Lord, lead me in a direction. I need to get myself back in church, because I hadn't been to church since I was a little kid, because I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. And not like God, it was just like the church that I was going to. I just couldn't connect with it as a kid. And and he changed my life when about not too long after that, I got a new job. And one of the guys that was working there, he was a we had went to school together. I was like, and he had went to the church that I attend now, and I was like, he was just telling me about catching me up, because I hadn't seen him in some years. We had graduated, and he was telling me some people that had went to the church. I was like, okay, I'll go, yeah, yeah. And then 2 months later, exactly, Another young lady started working at the same job that went to the same exact church. I was like, all right, Lord, I hear you. Okay. So then, he was
Okay.
surrounding me literally by them. One was sitting towards the front, one was sitting right next to me. So I was, like, all right. So a couple months later, I ended up going to the church. And this was back in 2000. So
Mhm.
this was about 25 years ago. And I've been there ever since. And so although I went there, it was still like transitions in my life that I went through. Started going to church and, started, the process of kind of still understanding who you are as a person, understanding everything, all these layers, from the abuse, going through rejection, just witnessing stuff that I, as a kid feel, and as an adult, should know that I should not have been a part of. And so it took some years. Most people know I didn't know that I was married. I'm divorced. Um, Went through a miscarriage, which was a hard time in my life. That was very hard. I had to kind of deal with that alone. Um, and that was very hard for me. That was very hard for me. I went into depression after that for 9 years. That was hard. I went clinically. I was diagnosed with depression, well, severe depression and PTSD. So, and that depression was kind of it set on you. If you ever, I don't know if you ever been through depression, but that it's a heaviness.
Yes.
It's a true heaviness that sits
Mhm.
on you. It's like a cloud. It's dark. It's a sad moment. And then so going through that and all the stressors of my life, then not only that, I have bad anxiety. I used to have panic attacks so bad that I couldn't breathe, that I had to run outside to catch my breath at times. And the most severe one happened when I was at work one day, and then I could not breathe. It was awful. I dropped down to the floor. I just couldn't catch my breath. They had to call an ambulance for me, and it was very tough. But I was just going through a lot, just going through bad relationships. It seemed like I was just mirroring different stuff that I had experienced and maybe in my life, choosing the wrong people, just really, going down like a little rabbit hole, just a bad situation, just trying to find who I was, but still stuck in trying to figure out why this happening to me and who am I really. And it was very hard to going through that depression, going having anxiety. It was just like, and but mm, if somebody looked at me, they wouldn't be able to tell I was going through that because I wasn't that one that wanted you to know. I suppressed everything, which is why
Exactly.
it came out in my anxiety. Because I would sit here and have a week. I love to have a good time, laugh, and have a good. So you would never know that I was going through what I was going through at the end of the day. Everybody's like, I would never have thought. No, because I never put my let nobody know what I was experiencing, if you will. I wanted to just keep, because first of
Yeah.
all, you have to understand, like, who can I tell that's going to be able to understand what I'm going through? You just go through all these different
Mhm.
emotions and feelings and stuff like that to try to figure out, and you be like, well, if I can't figure this out, I'm just gonna suppress it. I'll hold it to myself. I'll write about it. I
Right.
journal, which I know now is journaling. When I was 12, when I started journaling, um, I just used to write everything that I was feeling and expressing. And to piggyback a little bit, when I was a kid, because I was being sexually abused and going through stuff, and I was being manipulated not to speak about different stuff that I was going through. It would come out in
Mhm.
my actions, different stuff that I would do. I tried to set the house on fire twice. One, the garbage can, and once the floor, because I was like, these is stuff that I was trying to show you without actually knowing how to verbally communicate on what I was experiencing and what I was going through. I was going through something, but I was acting out. So, but I was looked at as being bad versus somebody like, no, something is actually seriously wrong. And like you was
Right.
saying this when you was talking before you brought me on, back when we was smaller, you wasn't going through no, they call them shrinks back then. Whatever went on in the house, went
Yes.
on the house. If you bad, you're gonna get a whooping. If you
Right.
get it together. But as far as like
Mhm.
going to actually talk to
Mhm.
somebody and having them like do an evaluation or assessment to see what's really going on, you wasn't doing that. That was like taboo. What? You wasn't going to no talking to no doctors and no shrinks when we was younger.
Right. My shrink is right here in this
That
belt, right
listen,
here with this belt.
and right here, listen. Every letter of that word shrink was in that belt. That was in. That was it. That was it. That was your
Right.
shelter. If you want to,
Right. That's all we need. That's all the
that's
shrink
the
you
only
need.
thing that you need. So they wasn't. I didn't have that when I was younger, like an emotional connection, like with my parents, or have that type
Mhm.
of um relationship that I felt. That I was able to communicate what was going on. Um, or anybody, because I was afraid, I was fearful, um, and I just didn't understand like why I was going through. So I act out. Only way I didn't act out was in school. I did excellent in school because that's where I put all my energy at. Other than that, like most little girls have they little baby dolls combing their hair, dressing them, and all that. Nope, I was sticking needles. My mother's sewing needles right in them, just sticking them in. But it was this expressive for me because I was like, I didn't know how to once again communicate what I was going through, so I just acted out in the different behaviors that
Exactly.
I was going through, and until I later on, I tell everybody now I didn't find out me until I was in my 40s. I got both of my degrees in my 40s. I became a mother in my 40s. I got all my businesses in my 40s. I found my life,
There we go.
and so but through the time that I gave my life to the Lord and started going to church, it was layers that had to come off, and because it did not take a day for them layers to get there, it didn't take a day for them to come down. So it took a while. I had to learn to trust. I had to learn how to open up. I had to learn how to communicate. I had to learn how to drop my fears. I had to learn how to trust God. It was just different stuff that I went through in life. And it took years. It took a while. It was different layers. It was time at the time, but
Mhm.
I finally got to the point that I started living my life when I found out who I am. I stopped caring what other people think. I got my healing back. I started being fearful. I stopped blaming me. But I start first thing I had to do to get my healing though is forgive. That's the first thing I had to
Mhm.
do. I forgave myself
Oh,
and I also forgave other people who did this to me because I knew I wouldn't be able to move forward if I did not forgive. That's when stuff start changing for me in my life. Once I start forgiving.
my goodness. It's like you sound you are saying what everyone needs to hear right now because that's kind of the hardest thing that you have to do is forgive. Like you have to forgive not only the people who hurt you or the people who were involved in whatever it is that you were doing, but you have
Yeah,
to forgive yourself. Like you said, you made a lot of bad decisions, and I'm sure that there was a time you blamed yourself for those decisions, and it took a lot for you to have to say, "I didn't do these things just because I was a bad child. I did these things because I didn't know how else to process those feelings that I was having from the abuse and the sexual assault and everything that was going on with me." So I do understand that. So that goes to asking, like, what is that kind of what inspires you to pursue a career in social work and behavioral health, and what keeps you passionate about that today? Because like I noticed that a lot of people, men, women, whatever you identify as, who go through abuse, they tend to go in the social work fields. Is that kind of what inspired you to help others find their voice where you were silenced?
um, yes, because it was stuff that I was already doing.
Yes.
Because once again, like I said, I was that one that was able to suppress what I was going through, but I've always been that one that's been there for my friends, family, and I've always been that one that people always was able to tell me them secrets, that stuff that they didn't want. Now, when I was younger, I was like, I remember saying like, why they tell me that? Now I understand because I've always had a big thing with loyalty. Loyalty, I've since I was a kid. I have fights literally as a kid. Let me put this disclaimer out. As a child, I had fights. Child.
Child.
Let's put that out there. When I did, when I did have my fights, it was because a lot of them was because of loyalty. Was because of loyalty because I take that very seriously. And so I've always been that one that people can tell something to, they can communicate with. And so I've always been like a people person. I love people, or always wanted to defend the person that was like in the background, or people that, that got picked on and different stuff like that. I've always been that people that have a love and care for people. And so it helped me to go in that direction when I know, oh, I can do this. So I was going back and forth between the psychologist and social worker. I was like, okay. I was like, pretty much I can do the same thing. I can counsel, I can be a therapist. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go for social work. So I got my master's in social work. And it's just to continue on what I already love to do, and that's helping people. Um, and so it just helped me connect in a different way by becoming a social worker. It didn't help me to start on that, but it helped me to just connect on another level to be a social worker. Some people go in there because they hurt and different stuff that they experience in life, and yes, they want to help people. But I would say you would do people a disservice, even as social workers now, if you're still hurting, if you're still broken and different, if you have not got to the point that you have got free within yourself. Because when you're dealing with people, you have to understand they go down and they have been through a lot in their life. And some stuff may
Yes.
mirror what you
Yes.
have experienced, and you have to make sure that's not going to bring up no trigger in you. So you have to make sure when you're ready, when you're dealing with people, that you have yourself whole and ready, because so it will not.
Right.
You don't want to go through it and you crying more than your client is. I mean, because I've seen, I've
Yes.
heard different stuff like that, or you sitting there and you just listening, and you're like you're not connecting. It's about connecting. It's
I've
about
done that.
helping. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't step over there until I was able to get healed myself, because that makes a difference to be able to go out there, to be able to communicate, to be able to help somebody, impart into them, and just listen. Sometimes listen, it's power in listening, because sometimes people
Yes.
just need to want that person to know that they're listening, and you can see how engaged you are just by listening and just being attentive and just being healed yourself. I don't want to sit up here and
Hmm.
cry my patients out, I because I mean, listen, I
I know.
had to
I
get to a place
understand.
that I
I
had
get
to
it.
be whole,
I
and that
get it.
started with forgiveness for me. And I started, and then allowing God to heal me, not pointing fingers at what this person did for me anymore, what this person did to
Right.
me, how that made me feel now, but going to God wholly, absolutely about me first. And then let you him deal with that. But I want to know, what do I need to be healed for me? What's going to help me? What experiences or what am I still holding on to that I need to let go of? Who I need to forgive, or what I need to do, what I need to pray about, what I need to let go, or why is this connecting to this? For instance, um, I didn't understand why for years. I literally just got this revelation, probably a few months ago, and I was wondering why I could not ask people for nothing. I'm one that I will not ask you for nothing. And that's just me. It's nothing
Nothing.
personal against anybody. It's just I will not ask nobody for
Hmm.
nothing. But I realized it was connected to when I was a child and being sexually abused. And when I'm asking somebody for something, they will respond. It had to be exchanged for a sexual favor. So I didn't realize how connected that was to now until God gave me that revelation. I was like, oh my goodness, it makes sense. I'm not, and but I had to, this little stuff like that that he's showing me about myself, that I had to be able to get healed from within me, to be able to make a difference in somebody else's life. So that's
Okay.
just having God just deal with me in certain things and some relationships that I have with my dad and different stuff like that, being able to heal different little intricate things that I was going through and experiencing in my life. So that's how I'm able to say today, and by far, I'm not perfect, and but I've come a long way. I still got some things that God is definitely working on me with, but I've come a long way from striving to thriving and living my life in my 40s.
Yes, you have. See, I mean, knowing you, I wouldn't know any of this until I heard. I think you were on. the
Yeah.
Walkers
Uh,
podcast,
yes.
and that's when I heard your
Yes.
story, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like because you have healed so well. Like you when you say you have made that transition, I see it. I don't even know that person that you were before because of who I see in front of me today. Because I've been, what has been going 3 months since we've known each other, and even though everyone has their ups and downs, I've never seen you to be the type that would ever have been broken. So whatever it is that you're doing, your healing journey is working, and the fact that you are now in a position to help others. It's just, I love it. I love it because like you're not only a person who heals others, you're also a mom, and you're a
Yes.
mompreneur. So, like, how do you do that? How do you balance your professional life and your life of supporting others while also supporting your children and your children's business adventures? Because your children are actually business owners as well. Like, you make this complete turnaround to not only help yourself but help anybody who comes into your life.
So thank you. Um, so first of all, I have to give all glory to God. It is nothing. When I say nothing in and of myself, I couldn't have did it. I couldn't have did it. So it's just nothing that I do in my life that I don't give glory to God first, because without Him, there is no me. So the strength to persevere, to keep going, the strength to get up, the creative ideas or the visions, all glory to God. So what I had to learn being having that work life balance is getting really having a plan, really figuring out, okay, what's going to work for what works for my household, what's going to work for work, how not to mix it at times, how to make time for everything to keep it balanced. Because first, before I'm anything, I'm a mom. I can't let that, I
Right there.
cannot let that balance. I mean, I can't let that drop off. I need to be there for my kids. I got little kids, so they need me. So I have to make sure I'm there for them. I have to make sure, everything is taken care of for them. And I'm trying to create a path for them so they can see that my mommy worked hard. You know what I'm saying? We didn't make excuses. I don't want them to see excuses. I want them to see that you got to work hard for what you want. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep going. You can't get up. We can't be lazy. I did that already. I was the lazy. I was the procrastinator. I did all of that. That was me. So I'm the sacrifice so they don't have to do that. So now I'm living and I'm learning how to um show them what it looks like. First of all, I keep them in church. We that's first. We gotta learn this, that's first. Then we go to church. They are authors. I created a book for them, you know, so they are understanding like, oh, I'm an author. They get to go to some of the events to see what it is to work at their
Yes.
booth, how to interact with the people. They had to go to the doctor the other day, and they had their doctor purchasing a book because they little marketing skills that they have. The first thing they started talking about, I'm a book.
Right
My book is this.
there.
This is what it's called, and you can purchase it on Amazon and it costs this much. And so I mean, out of nowhere, they would just start doing that, even at this young age. So I don't want them, I
I
want
love
them to
it.
understand that it's serious and it's business, but I also want them to understand it's fun, have fun with it. So
Hmm.
balancing that out, getting work done, because if I ain't, what the word say, if you don't work, you ain't gonna eat. So I gotta make sure I'm working. I gotta make sure I'm working. But I don't want to be that one all my life punching the clock. I
Right.
want to be able to be a successful entrepreneur. So I gotta work
Hmm.
hard now. I always like something my pastor said, and I hold on to it. And he always said, if you do what you gotta do now, you can do what you want to do later. So it's like working hard to just,
Right.
to do what
Right.
I gotta do, and um making my and give these visions that I'm getting. I'm like, God, if you giving me the vision, you'll provide the provision. So working hard now, not being fearful to step out like I was before. And that's the part of not knowing me versus really coming out and living my life and stepping out. Because I'm good behind. I will push. I will be your biggest supporter, your biggest cheerleader. I will come. I
Yes,
will
you will.
support.
Yes, she sure will, y'all.
I'm used to be good being behind the scenes. I will push everybody else. I support. I
Yes.
would do it. I've done it all. I support it. I've been there. I come out and help. I've done all of
Yes,
that,
you
and I still do
are.
that now. And that don't take away from.
You do it for me, you guys. This is a personal. She's not every live I've been on since February 1st. Miss Lucy has been. This is the first time she's been on this side
Yep.
of the screen. And she's
Yeah.
on them every week. Hey
Listen.
sis, hey sis. So I am proof that she will support, uplift. She'll put a prayer in the group chat. She will inspire. She will do whatever she can. What can we do? Let's get it together. She has helped me on my summit, so I am living proof. She's not just saying this
Mhm.
because she's on this show. She is who she's saying she is because she's doing it for me. Even being on this show, she's doing it. I don't know where I'm looking at, you guys. I'm all over the place, but she does this for me. So please understand, whatever she's telling you, whoever she's saying she is right now is true. There's no lies in this because I know her personally. And she doesn't realize how intimidating she is because of how nice and beautiful and loving and how big her heart is. That's intimidating enough as it is. So again, trying to be where you are goes.
Oh. Oh, thank you. So yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful. So I'm just
So
like, so this coming out here,
yes.
like y'all see y'all flow, y'all so excellent with this, y'all do this. See me, I'm coming from behind the scenes because for me, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna be hiding over here. I can help y'all from here. So me coming out front, literally this year between January and to date. I've done this is my first time doing all these podcasts. I've done so many this year to God be the glory. And
Good.
shout out to my sis Amanda because she has made a lot of this possible. She has been divinely
Lady
connected so many.
Poet.
Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Sensational six. Um
Sensational
so
Six. That's our sister podcast, Open Letters
open
to a
letters.
Survivor, on the what is the network? I always forget the network. Y'all forgive me. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I forget the name. I know the name of the podcast. I just don't remember the name of the network that she's on. But Open Letters to a Survivor, Miss Amanda Lady Poet, she is a beast when it comes to supporting
Yeah.
her clan. She ain't no joke. She
Yes.
introduced me to Lucy,
Yes.
and I will love her
Yes.
forever for that.
Absolutely.
So we
We
love you,
do.
Lady Poet. I know
Big
you
shout
listening.
out to you. So I'm appreciated. I'm so appreciative. I'm grateful, and I appreciate y'all. I really do. I really do. And I thank
And I
you for
appreciate you too.
being
Like
able
you
to
did
be on
your part.
this
You introduced
platform
me
to
to your
even
yes.
share my story. So I appreciate that.
Tell your cousin I'm coming for her
Yes,
next, Miss Ebony. I don't know
yes,
if you're
I would.
listening, but I'm coming for you
We
next,
if she
ma'am.
not on here
I'm coming.
tonight, look, she always supports you. I support her. She support. If she ain't on here, she got something else that she doing. But other than that, she always a great big
She'll
support.
listen to the
But I'll let her
replay.
know we got an event in the morning that we'll be together at in the morning because both our children are authors, so we have an event that we'll be at tomorrow at
Oh,
a school at a
nice.
career fair. So we'll be there tomorrow. I'll be speaking, and so I'm excited about that.
Yay. So okay, we kind of got off. We got off, but that's okay because that's how we do. That's how we do. This is your children, your babies. They're authors, but they also inspired you to write a book, Faith and Elijah's
Yeah.
Affirmations from A to Z. What do you want your young readers to take from this? What is your hope that they take from this book?
First of all, because like you said in the title, it's called Faith and Elijah, and those are my children's name. So it's Faith and Elijah's Affirmations from A to Z. And why that's so important to me because I believe in imparting it to people, encouraging people, inspiring people as well. And I don't want it to be and as an adult once again when it started for me. I believe in letting it start when they're little, getting them, affirming them, encouraging them. And because as they speak it, they start believing I am amazing, I am beautiful, I am brave, I am confident, I am determined. They start believing that. And these are some of the words that the affirmations that I have in their book because it's important that you speak to your little children. Don't not when they bigger. Now I ain't talking about speaking negative into them and cussing out your kids. You have to pour into them. They gonna do stuff. They children. My kids, they drive me bananas a lot of time because that's just what they do. But I love my children. I
Right.
love them, and I impart to them. And I think it's important
Yes.
for them to understand how important they are. how special they are, how brilliant they are, and how much you can be. You can do anything you want to do if you just believe, and anything that you start doing and making it a practice and then doing over 21 days, they say to become a habit. So you keep imparting into them. And as adults, even if it wasn't imparted into you as an adult, because I also run a sister group for adults as well, you encourage them. You encourage them to um, be and understand who they are as a person. I don't like I had to wait till I was an adult to figure out. Like I said, I got my life at 40. I want them to understand at 4 and 5 how special you are. And so it's important that you impart to your kids so they can understand and know who they are. And so when they coming up, they like, all right, yeah, they can believe in that and they can inspire other people. Because we're looking at a lot of kids here now, and some of the youth and teens that I talk to as well with my Treasure of Faith group, a lot, I asked a question to them, and a lot of times I was like, they are looking at social media. Let's just start there. Let's stop and let's go there. It has it has brainwashed so much of our kids. They trying to live up to these images that is a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, those are filters. That's not even real. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, or they think they need to look like this or be like that to be
Right.
somebody. I'm like, you are perfectly
Mm-hmm.
created just like you are. You don't have to be like
Right.
this. You don't have to look like this. You don't have to be this size. You don't have to be this skin color. You don't have to be this tall, this short. You are perfectly created, just wonderful how you are. You're trying to fit this image of how somebody is portraying how you need to be, but that ain't who you need to be. So I need them to understand you are perfect just how you are. You don't need to change. They're being bullied on here. They're going through so much stuff that they just. I was actually listening, talking to a mom the other day, and her daughter is going through bullying. She's going through all this. So now, what they're doing, now they want to commit suicide. They're starting to cut and they starting to do all this stuff because they don't believe in themselves. They believe in everything that's coming in their ear from the left and the right. You ain't cute enough. You ain't this enough. You don't fit in. We don't want to be your friend. But I need you to be strong. I need you to be determined. I need you to understand you gonna have this because I'm
Right.
teaching mine at a young age. People gonna be like this. They're gonna be this. You could be doing good or bad. Somebody is always gonna have
Mm-hmm.
to say. They're gonna have always something to have, something to say. Always something
Always.
to say. But what I need you to understand is no matter what they're saying, you believe in. That's what I'm telling you. Brave, you beautiful, you bold, you determined. You know right now from when you 4 and 5 that what? No, I'm not. I'm beautiful. I'm brave. I am enough.
Right.
So I need
Right.
them to be. I need you to be
Right.
determined like that because it's too much going on right here. So I need to. So I'm pouring
Yes.
back into them so they can be leaders. I'm raising leaders, not followers. I tell them
Right.
every day. They'll tell you, I'm a leader, not a
I see.
follower. I'm raising leaders. I tell them to
Yes.
say, I'm like, you're a mighty man of valor and you're a virtuous woman every day. They know this. They'll tell
Yes.
you right now. I'm like,
Every day.
what you are? I'm a virtuous. Yes, you are. I'm a leader, not a follower. I tell them that. And even though they might go through,
I
they
love
gonna
it.
have to go through their little stuff that they go through. But if I'm
Mm-hmm.
imparting into that every day. So one time it's gonna click and you be like,
Mm-hmm.
I am a leader. Yes, you are. Yes, you
Right.
I
I
am
am
virtuous.
virtuous. Yes,
Yes,
I
you are.
am.
I'm a mighty man of valor.
See,
Yes, you
that
are.
kind of gets.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. And that leads me to what you're doing with the community. You have your organization Sisters to Chat group, and then you have your favorite Treasures of Faith Empowerment
Yes.
and Journaling workshop that you use to help
Yes.
support women and young girls. Kind of tell us a little bit about what those organizations do. I know, of course, but I want you to share this with the community because they need to all understand what you are offering young girls and women in our community who needs this to know that they're
Abs-
virtuous and to know that they're
yes.
valued.
Both of which are my babies, my treasures of faith and my sister to sister. I'll start with treasures of faith. So Treasures of Faith. So the whole business is called My Favor by Faith, which my children, I got the name because they my favor by faith. I trusted God for this, so I got my favor and I got my business. So I'm like my favor by faith. So that's the umbrella. That's the business. Treasures of Faith is one of the youth one. It's for young ladies between the ages of 12 and 18. 18 if you're still in high school, and we come to empower, we come to impart, we come to encourage. And it's through journaling and empowerment. So these are 10-week groups that we do, and we have different topics that we discuss each week. And some of the topics will be self image, boundaries, goals, etiquette. So we talk about some of these things every week. We have some activities. I have people coming in to speak to them. And so right now, I just finished up a 12-week. We did it in I started from December to February. We did a 10-week. And now, yesterday, I just started another one. I got a grant for Cleveland Schools, so I'm in the schools with it, with the young lady. So yesterday actually was my first day in the school. So we got 9 more weeks to, and so that's that trusting in
So
God
proud of
and
you.
watching. When I walked in there, I was like, "This is an answer to prayer," and I'm just all glory to God for that. Um, so I'm grateful for that. So yeah, we impart to kids. So a lot of them have therapists. So what I wanted to do is, I didn't want to come from a therapist point of view. I wanted them to speak to them like a big sister. So everything I do is like a big sister to program or sister to sister. I have sister to sister, and then I have like a almost like a big sister program is what Treasure of Faith is for young ladies. So we empowerment and journaling. So some of the things that we have done, like yesterday when we start off, we do our little introductions and our icebreakers, and we have fun because it's interactive. And also, but you have to journal. You have to write in there different things, different weeks. But yesterday, wrote in there how what are you feeling and why, and something that you're grateful for. So that's what we started off. I let them write, and then we did different discussion topics, and then we interacted yesterday because I had them doing a role play yesterday. And I was telling him, I said, let's get a scenario. I said, if you were your friend and they posted something on social media about you, we were talking to we were talking about how relationships be as far as like being able to apologize to your friends and different stuff like that. And I said, so um, let's come together and somebody be the one who sent the post on social media, somebody else be the one who they were actually talking about, and then we have like that mediator friend. And so they came together and it was like had the real life scenario, like, why did you post me on Facebook? I don't like that. I had them act it out, but then I had them come to the place that you can apologize to understand it, the importance of being able to apologize and be able to communicate with your friends to have more effective relationships, because you're going to deal with different stuff that you don't like. And so one came from that perspective, and another one came was like, well, I only posted it because I thought you would look the good in it, and I wanted to support you. And the other was like, but I didn't like it, and so it was just really good, and they was really engaged, and we had a good time. But just understanding, bringing
Oh,
them together. So we do different stuff, but real life scenarios, and we got to keep up what they doing now, so everything is relatable to in time, right now type of situations, and we have a good time with it. So like I said, everything is different week, but you always have to start with i am I am enough. I am enough. You have to look in the mirror and say, I am enough. And then when we leave at the end of the day, you have to look to your classmate and say, you are enough. So you have to learn how to encourage yourself, but it's also teaching you how to encourage others. Because we as women, we should be able to encourage me. I should
yes.
be over here and be like, sister, hey, you look beautiful.
Mhm.
Hey, or whatever. How you doing? Or I'm so proud of you. We should be able to do that.
Yes.
So I want them to
Yes.
understand, like, you
Yes. I love
always encourage yourself, but it's always okay to
that.
encourage someone else as well.
I love that. I
And
really do. Thank you so
absolutely.
much.
Oh, and
Oh no,
then
go
so
ahead.
that's
Finish, finish,
a
finish.
little brief about that. And then as far as sister to sister is one that's also near and dear, a baby. That's when me and my sister started. We started back when the pandemic first started, and we went online. We were sharing our stories. That's my biological sister, but we met when I was 13 and she was 23. I mean, no, I was 23, she was 13, and so we built our relationship, and we're, that's my best friend now. We thick as thieves, but we had to, when we first met, we had to build that trust. We had to build that relationship. It was it wasn't as tight as it was now because we had to learn each other. We had to learn to respect each other. We had to give each other space. We had to give each other boundaries. So when we started building up, it got to so we went online, we were sharing our story and how we met, and then our individual stories, how it was abused and different stuff like that. And she shared her story. So we was like, we went on there, we was talking, and then women was like, oh, y'all need to keep this going. This was so good. Thank you for being so transparent. So we kept it going through the pandemic, and when we were able to come back out amongst everybody, we started doing them in person. So this is year number 4 that we've been doing sister to sister chat. We do them 4. We do them every 2 months, and we come together. We just had one in February. This month we don't. Another collaboration that we have is with Man Talk. Shout out to Man Talk. So we met.
Okay, man.
I met a gentleman at the end of last year, around in October, November, and we was at a networking event, and he told me he had Man Talk. I said, "Oh, I got sisters and sisters." So long story short, we said we should bring our groups together. Top of the year in January, we brought them together. It was amazing. So our next one is this month. So our sister to sister individual groups is every like the opposite month. So we came together with Man Talk in January, Sister to Sister in February, and Man
I
Talk is on
remember
the
that.
March 29th of this month.
I do
Yeah.
remember the man talk. When I first met you, you were doing. I think you had just done the man talk, and you were getting
Mhm.
ready to do it. But
Yep.
I do remember that.
Yep.
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much, Miss Lucy, for coming on my show. I'm gonna talk to you
Of
tomorrow
course. Of
anyway. It
course.
don't matter. But it was a treat for everyone who was not blessed with a presence like me. Sorry. Join the Sensational Six, and maybe we
That's
can
right.
talk. um, I would like to thank you so much. I want to give a shout out. We talk about the Sensational Six on this all the time. My sister Lucy, right here, boom. My sister Lady Poet, y'all seen her a couple of weeks ago. Miss Lady Kim, Miss Caleb,
Yes.
Cassandra, Kiss. She is a part of the Sensational
Yes.
Six. Miss Lena, she actually hasn't been on my show yet. I'm still working on her.
Come
And
on,
of
Miss
course, me,
Lena.
me, I'm a part of the little group. Miss Alina, I love all of you. Open Letters to a Survivor is on UG Digital Media. Thank you, Lady Boy. She
Yes.
put it in the chat. I did not know the name of it. I'm not good with names, you guys. I'm sorry. But UG Digital Media is where you can listen to inside Open Letters to a Survivor podcast. That's my Sensational Six crew. We support each
That's
other.
right.
We lift each other up. We all we want to do is see each other succeed. You know, when she told us about her grant, we were one of the first few, and everybody in that group
Yes.
just showed out with love. Oh my God, congratulations! Oh my
So
God, it's
much
giving because
love.
we are proud.
So much
We are
love.
proud and inspired and happy for her because this is not. It's not about what she's not doing for us. It's what she is doing for the community, teaching these young girls to not only love themselves but to love everybody else. Something that we weren't taught. We were taught to compete
Right.
with each other, and she's showing us. Miss Lucy is showing us that
Yes.
is not the way to go. We're supposed to love each other. So thank you so much, Miss Lucy. How can we get a hold of you? Is it
My faith
faithbyfavor.com?
by favor.com. Yes,
My
my favor
faith
by
by
faith.com,
okay.
and my favor by faith across
My,
all platforms.
I almost got that down
Well,
packed. I
my
swear.
favor by
I'm trying
faith.
to get it.
Yep,
My favorite by faith. I'm like, I know
my
it's favored
favor
by faith.
by
I
faith.
know it's favored
Yep,
by faith.
on all platforms.
It's in the chat, you guys, and everything. My favorite by faith is all of her platforms. She is right here to help anybody learn to love themselves and each other. She is not. She is not what I thought she was going to be. I thought that she was going to be. I'm
No,
sorry. I
no,
love you,
but see
Lucy.
that's why
I thought
that's why
she
I
was
love y'all,
going to
because we can
be.
be so transparent, and I love that.
Yes,
So I'm not one of them like, what
I
you
did not.
about to
I didn't know
say?
what to
No,
expect.
no, come on.
No, I thought that she was going to be more. I knew because I grew up in church. I grew up in church. So when you hear someone that is so into the Lord and love the Lord, you think about what you grew up in growing to church. You don't know about these new modern age religious individuals, not church folk. So I thought Miss Lucy was going to be one of the church folk. But no, she's just someone who loves the Lord and who's going to spread that love, which is what it's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
That's,
So I getting to know you has been a treat. I'm sorry. I thought I was going to be like, oh my Lord, I'm talking to my grandma,
that's
y'all.
so funny.
But you're not. I can hold a regular conversation, and it's God is always going to be a part of her life, and that's what she's going to put first and foremost. But that's not going to be the only answer. I can say I'm depressed today. She's going to ask me, have to do some breathing. Did you pray? Did you meditate? But it's going to be in there, but that's not going to be the only answer. And I
Oh
love that
yeah.
about Lisa, because you can come to her with whatever your problems are. She's going to try to help you, and not only say, "Well, just pray," because I seen knowing her that's praying without what is it? Faith without
First
works
faith
is what
without
I'm
works is dead. Yeah.
exactly. So you can pray, but you still
You
got to
gotta
do
do
the
the
work.
work. You
So
gotta
she
do
helps
the
you do the
work.
work. So that's what I love about it. Is that right there is what I love about Miss Lisa, because she's gonna help you do the work. She's not gonna say stand there and wait for the
Cause
Lord to
that
come
ain't
help you. She's gonna say
realistic.
get up
That
and
ain't
do what.
realistic. I don't know.
No, that
You
is
you
not
you say
realistic.
faith without works is dead. It's like the man don't work, he ain't gonna eat. That's what the word says. So you gotta get out there and you got to
Yes,
put the work in.
exactly.
I trust. Yeah, he wants you to. How much you trust? You better trust the Lord with all our heart. We trust Him with everything, but He give us these visions and abilities to get out there to get it done. We can't sit
Exactly.
there and be like,
Exactly.
"Oh, God gonna play." Yeah, that's why He created doctors, lawyer. He created everything. If you aren't feeling good, go to the
Lord,
doctor. He
exactly.
created them.
It
He
ain't just
gave go.
right.
So
Exactly. So I do thank you for being so open to ideas of healing and
yeah,
being who you are. Because you definitely a beautiful person
thank you,
inside and out. And I love all of our
thank
interactions.
you.
Thank you so much for coming on my show. Thank you for coming today early. It was the last minute conflict. I'm interviewing for a podcast tomorrow around the same time. I scheduled it before I started my show on this day. So I'm like, oh, okay, so she was really flexible with me. I thank you so
Absolutely,
much. You guys, if y'all want to feel real love, y'all need to reach out to her. myfavoritebyfaith.com, myfavoritebyfaith.anything. That will get you to this woman and her programs, and she will show you the love that she shows.
it
Her
is.
love is genuine. It isn't just because she knows me. That's just who she is. So if you want to know and you want to feel that yourself, reach out to her. She's so good that the school district gave her a grant, you guys. So please know. Thank you so much, Miss Lucy, for coming out. I will be seeing you soon,
Yes.
or talking to you soon. And anybody who wants to know this kind of love that I feel from her, y'all know how to reach out to her. If you don't reach out to her and you say I don't have Miss Lucy love, that's on you, because she gave her information. So reach out and get that love. Learn how to love yourself, because that's all she
That's
wants to
it.
do is teach.
That's it. Spread the love. Spread the love. That's
Thank you so much, Miss Lucy.
it.
Spread the
Thank you. I
love.
appreciate you. I appreciate you inviting me
Mwah.
here. Thank you, and thank you everybody who's joining now or who gonna be listening later.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna put you backstage, and then we're gonna
All right.
wrap things up. Oh, you guys, I'm so happy that you guys don't know. I was really excited when she was on the show. So every day that it got closer, closer, I'm like, oh my God, you guys, Miss Lucy's gonna be on my show. Miss Lucy's gonna be on my show, and I'm just happy about how it went, because she helped us understand and learn and grow, even in just the hour that you got with her. And again, if you want more time, you know how to reach out to her. She is willing to help anyone. With that being said, healing is not an overnight process. It's a journey. It's a journey of reclaiming your power, understanding your worth, and embracing your ability to rise from the ashes. Miss Lucy, again, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for your transparency, for your truth, and for showing up fully unapologetically in this space. Your story is proof that resilience is not just a word. Resilience is a way of life. You've turned your pain into a purpose that helps others, helps them love themselves, helps them love others, and that is the definition of true empowerment. For everyone listening to this right now, you need to hear this, and I'm going to say this often. Excuse me. Your story matters. Things that you've been through, the battles that you fought, the strength that you have had to muster up just to be here to listen to this today. It's not small. It's not insignificant. And most importantly, it is not the end of your story. Healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about using it. It's about learning from it. It's about growing from it. And just like Miss Lucy showed us today, it's about making sure that what tried to break you does not have the final say. So I want you to leave with this. You are not what happened to you. You are who you choose to become. You are what you choose to become. If this conversation resonated with you, and I hope it did, please do not keep it to yourself. Share it. Somebody out there needs to hear. Somebody out there needs to reach out to Miss Lucy. Someone out there needs to reach out to Open Letters to a Survivor. Someone out there needs to reach out to me. Someone out there is fighting a battle that they don't think they could win, and you can be the reason why they know they're not alone. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel, like this episode, and turn on your notifications so that you will not miss another powerful conversation like the one we had today with Miss Lucy. And if you believe in the power of healing and resilience, share this with your community, because the higher we rise, the higher we can lift each other up. So before closing, I will always do this. If anyone needs to access real support, or if someone you know is experiencing any type of domestic violence, human trafficking, or any type of abuse, please reach out to an organization that can help you. You can start with the National Domestic Violence Hotline. You can call 1-800-799-SAFE, 1-800-799-7233, or visit www.thehotline.org. Or you could call the National Human Trafficking Hotline, 1-888-373-7888. Again, that's 1-888-373-7888, or you can text HELP to 233-733. So final words, I want to leave you with this. No, I want you to leave this space knowing that you are not defined by your struggles, but by how you rise from them. Every challenge you face, every pain that you endured is a part of your journey, and it's not the end of the story. Remember, healing is not a straight path. It's not. It's filled with twists, turns, bumps, bruises, stabs, cuts. Every step forward that you take, though, is a small victory, and you are capable of transforming your life, reclaiming your power, and becoming the person that you were always meant to be. Don't let your past dictate your future. Instead, let your experiences fuel your strength. You have everything inside you that you need to not only survive, but to thrive. So today, take a moment and celebrate how far you have come, and know that there's so much more ahead. You are worthy of peace, joy, and all the things that life will allow you to live your fullest life. And I want to leave you with these words from Audre Lorde. I like to leave quotes from powerful, powerful women. I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are different from my own. I need you to try. You have to figure out what that means. Okay, I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are different from my own. This is Insights of a Survivor. I'll see you next time. And until next time, keep healing, keep rising, and keep owning your power. Thank you so much. You guys have a great night.
It's been dark way too long in this place. That bright smile long gone been replaced. From ear to ear I see that fear in your face. Tell me when the last time you felt safe, cause there's some evil people in the streets. Evil at your front door, creeping while you sleep. It's time to raise up, show that evil we ain't weak. We don't turn the other cheek. I can show you how to be strong. Come on, follow me. Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy. I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get